Welcome everyone to Bedtime Mysteries with Andreajohnsonbooks. I'm Andrea Johnson, your host for this evening, and the purpose of this nightly interlude is to help my audience go to bed with a simple thought. Who is it? My short bedtime stories will leave you with many questions. You will always end the evening with something to ponder or decipher. Tonight, we continue with part 2 of Instinctive Manipulations. A couple in an unusual predicament, only together for a few weeks, when suddenly every single one of their past relationships start to die off. Is it simply jealousy or something far more sinister? In our previous segment, Derek found a strange key on his doorstep. Not a good sign, especially when people are dying off. Our story moves on to the home of a deeply distracted woman, a lady whose thoughts may take her to a place she can't return from.
Jessica Romero entered her home late that night from a hard day at work. Her client load was higher than usual ever since her partner had been away on vacation. She wasn't complaining, but then again, she had far more pressing issues to worry about. As a psychiatrist, her job often placed her in connection with people that needed help others couldn't give them. Problems that were not easily resolved. She figured things out, was the best in her field at finding the pieces of a maze of puzzles. That's how she met Derek Moore. Years ago, they had a doctor and patient relationship, which later on developed into a heated but very brief love affair. They'd shared things with each other, but the one thing she always remembered and could never forget was the story he told her of his past. Jessica sighed as she walked over to the table in her bedroom. She stared at the box sitting on it for a moment before slowly opening it. She carefully removed the key, looking at the simple design for a while, studying it. She frowned as she placed it back into the box, her heartbeat beginning to race. It was confirmed. She had already assimilated the patterns and behavior signs. The 4 deaths that had recently taken place put the final piece of the picture together for her. Jessica changed out of her clothes and put on her robe, going into the bathroom to prepare her nightly bath. The wheels in her head were turning as she thought of Derek, and how everything led back to him. She was going to tell him what she knew. He had to know what the pattern really meant. And she had to keep that key from him, no matter what the cost. Jessica reached for the collar of her robe as she got ready to step into the bubble bath. The warm wetness on her neck dripped onto her fingers, and she raised her hand onto her face, looking in dazed shock as the blood covered her palm. That's when she felt it. A quick and precise slice to the neck, only seconds. So fast that the brain had not even processed it until the evidence was clear. Her body collapsed into the water like a slow-motion film. The bubbles covered her, the red flow blending into the white. Inside the bedroom, a gloved hand picked up the box that held the key and walked out of the apartment, closing the door on any possibility of what may have been discovered.
I hope you enjoyed tonight's segment of Bedtime Mysteries with Andreajohnsonbooks, and I hope it left you with a question. What was it that Jessica was trying to tell Derek, and why did she try to keep the key away from him, an object he now has? Have you figured it out? Tune in next week for the continuation. Bedtime Mysteries can be seen Monday nights at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Please like my page on Facebook at Andreajohnsonbooks. You can also follow me on Twitter at AuthorJohnson78 or on Instagram at Andrea the Creative Author. You can also visit my website at Andreajohnsonbooks.com. I wish you a good night, sleep tight, and don't leave your windows open tonight.